This is Matthew Kraters, Bitcoin University. Today I want to talk about what happens if Trezor or Ledger, the hardware wallet companies, went bankrupt. What would you do with your Bitcoin on your hardware wallet? The background to this is you need to use a Bitcoin node in order to interact with the Bitcoin network, which is just a series of interconnected nodes. So for example, when you're using a Trezor hardware wallet, your Trezor hardware wallet plugs into the USB of your computer, usually your laptop or desktop, and from there it connects to the Trezor Suite software, which connects itself to Trezor's nodes, which connect to the Bitcoin network. Something similar happens with Ledger. You plug it into the USB of your computer, connects to Ledger Live and talks to Ledger Live, and through that talks to Ledger's nodes, which connect to the Bitcoin network. It looks something like this if you've never seen what a Trezor looks like. I'll be using a Trezor today. I've never owned a Ledger, but I want to demonstrate at least what this looks like. So this is being plugged right here into the USB port. And then after you do that, you connect to the Trezor Suite software. Typically, though, as we're going to see, there are other ways to use your Trezor. You can either download it for desktop. There's also Trezor Suite for web, which is what I'm going to be using today, this web app. And we can see here that I've already set up a wallet and I have 50,000 sats, about $29 sitting in the wallet at this point in time. So let's go through a couple emergency scenarios and see how we would work through them. Scenario number one, Trezor, its servers and its Bitcoin nodes are shut down globally by governments everywhere, some global crackdown, which is extremely unlikely. But for the sake of this example, we'll assume it could happen. Or maybe the company just goes out of business and just disappears from the face of the earth and they stop responding to customer support and emails and phone calls, etc. And then let's say when you try to use Trezor Suite, the web app does not load, and the desktop app as well, Trezor Suite desktop app, no longer connects to Trezor's node. What do you do if you need to access your Bitcoin immediately? Trezor Suite won't be working here as it normally would, so you're going to need to use a different form of connecting software. And of course, we could use the same recovery method that I'm about to show you if Ledger disappeared from the face of the earth as well. And the software I'm talking about is going to be Sparrow Wallet. You want to make sure you're downloading it from the correct website, sparrowwallet.com. Make sure you check the URL very carefully, and then you can download it for your operating system, whether it's Mac OS with an Apple chip or an Intel chip, Windows, Linux, etc. Then if you want to be really careful as well, you can do a verification of the release and check the signatures, which people don't normally do, but it's a very good idea to do that. So what I've done is I've downloaded Sparrow Wallet. We'll find it right here. We go up here to set it up and we go under preferences. The first thing you want to do is go under server. This is where you can connect it to your own Bitcoin node if you have one. Otherwise, if you're new to this, you'll probably use a public node, which leaks a little bit of privacy. It's not going to make you lose your Bitcoin. But again, eventually everyone should learn how to set up their own Bitcoin node using Core or using Private Electrum here in Sparrow. We're going to be using a public server. As I said, you can just go in the drop down here, pick any of these. I'll just pick a random one, Bitaroo, and then you click test connection, and it tells you that you're connected. And then after we click close, we'll see down here this turns yellow. So what we're going to do is we have our Trezor hardware wallet. It's still in good working condition, but unfortunately Trezor, the company, has disappeared. So we want to figure out how to send a Bitcoin transaction and access our Bitcoin without using Trezor Suite. So we just downloaded Sparrow Wallet. We set up the public connection the server connection to a public Bitcoin node. And now we're going to go up here. We'll just type in Trezor, then we'll click create wallet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect the Trezor to our USB port. So we'll click right here. We're going to leave everything else the same, single sig, native SegWit. That's probably how you have it set up. Connected hardware wallet. We're going to scan for connected hardware wallets. And it's looking for the Trezor that's now connected to our USB port of our computer. We'll click import key store. And then we're going to leave everything here as it is. We're going to leave the derivation path, etc. We're going to click apply. And this is where you can leave a password that encrypts this particular wallet on your desktop or laptop in case someone else has access to the computer. I'm not going to leave a password for this. Again, this has nothing to do with your actual Bitcoin private keys. So I'm going to click no password. And now we can see it's looking up our addresses on the blockchain. What I've done here is I've connected the XPub from my Trezor hardware wallet, and I haven't shared the private keys or anything. Those stay safely on the Trezor. We can see the XPub right here. Now if we go under transactions, we can see that my 50,000 sats are there at the addresses we would expect. If we look here, we can see the UTXO for it and the Bitcoin address that it's sitting at. And so then if we needed to receive more Bitcoin onto the Trezor hardware wallet, we could just get a fresh address from here. If we wanted to send it to a different hardware wallet, all we need to do is then paste a Bitcoin address here where we want to send it, adjust the fees, and then create transaction. And with your Trezor hardware wallet plugged in, you will sign the transaction, and then it'll be broadcast to the Bitcoin network. So that's the first way of doing a recovery. So what did we do? We used our Trezor hardware wallet, but we used it in a way where we were not dependent on Trezor Suite, the software that comes with the hardware wallet. If you're finding this video helpful so far, I just paused here to ask you to help to support this channel, especially with the YouTube algorithm. Click the subscribe button. That's the most important thing you can do. Leave a like, leave a comment, suggestion, question, suggestion for a future video. Share this video with a friend or family member. You can also leave a tip or super thanks by clicking the thanks button under your video. And also you could click the join button if you'd like to get an extra video every month and some channel emojis. So we just covered scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, Trezor or Ledger disappears from the face of the earth and your Trezor or Ledger hardware wallet stops working at the same time. So this is a much worse scenario than the first one, or at least our Trezor was still working. In this case, we're going to imagine it won't even boot up, unlike the previous example where it did. Customer support from Trezor or Ledger no longer exists because the companies have disappeared. What do you do in this case because you have a broken hardware wallet and you have no support from either of these corporations? If it's an emergency and you need access to your Bitcoin right away, but you don't have a new hardware wallet that you can do a recovery on, and if you cannot buy or build a new hardware wallet very quickly, if you can't do that, you could use the Sparrow software wallet. And I'm going to show you how to do that. This is not ideal since you're typing your recovery seed into a hot wallet on your laptop or desktop. But as we said, we're pretending here it's a real emergency. All you have is your computer, your recovery seed, 12 or 24 words, and you desperately need access to your Bitcoin. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Sparrow. So we can go up to File, we're going to click New Wallet, and we're going to name this Software Wallet, and then we're going to click Create Wallet. Now what we did before is we connected our hardware wallet through the USB port. In this case, we're going to pretend that we no longer have our Trezor, but fortunately we do have our 12-word recovery seed. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to create a hot wallet. This is a little bit more risky, but again, it's an emergency and we need our Bitcoin and we don't have another hardware wallet that we could do a recovery by entering our seed in instead. So we're just going to click right here, New Software Wallet. I have a 12-word recovery seed for this Trezor. This is why it's very important to have a backup in case your Trezor or Ledger stops working. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to enter the 12 words here. This is going to import the wallet here, and you should never use these 12 words. These 12 words have now been published to the internet since I've published this video. I've already swept the Bitcoin out of here. If you send any Bitcoin or try to use this recovery seed, your Bitcoin will be immediately stolen by bots, not by me, but by bots. So make sure you don't use these words, and make sure you never share your own recovery seed, your own 12 or 24 words anywhere online. So I'm going to quickly type in my recovery seeds here and my 12 words, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I've now entered my 12-word recovery seed. Now I'm just going to click Create Key Store and then Import Key Store. And then once again, I'm going to click Apply. I'm not going to leave a password for this particular wallet. And then if we go up here to Transactions, we can see that I have reconstituted my wallet. So this is the same recovery seed. It's the same essential Bitcoin wallet with all of its addresses and private keys. And we have the same basically the same recovery seed, the same wallet sitting on my Trezor, which we pretended was destroyed, but we can see here that it's still there and connected. And then we have it with the software wallet as well. And even if I disconnected my Trezor hardware wallet from the computer, I'm still able to receive into it by doing this. If I need to send it though, then in that case, I'll need to plug my hardware wallet back in and sign a transaction. So that's how you do two different kinds of recoveries. The first one, we just connected our hardware wallet to Sparrow. In this case, we entered our recovery seed and imported it as a hot wallet as a software wallet. Now let's look at scenario number 3. It's a similar scenario. Trezor or Ledger have disappeared from the face of the earth. Your Trezor or Ledger hardware wallet stops working at the same time. It won't even boot up, but you do have a cold card or a Blockstream Jade hardware wallet available. And in this case, you're in really good luck. You're in a good situation since these are much better hardware wallets anyway. They don't cater to ship coins, and thus they have a smaller attack surface. And they're made by reputable Bitcoin-only companies. They've chosen the ethical path of not wrecking their customers by supporting ship coins or altcoins. So at some point, you should migrate away from your Trezor, which I no longer recommend, and your Ledger, which I've never recommended. You should migrate to a cold card or a Blockstream Jade. This is there are two main cold cards you can buy now, the Mark IV, which is great, and then my favorite, which is a cold card Q. There's the Blockstream Jade as well, which is a great wallet at a lower price point. They're coming out with a new design as well soon, so that should be very interesting to see. So in this case, we're going to assume that your Trezor or Ledger is broken, but you still have that 12-word recovery seed, and this is going to be a much safer form of doing a recovery rather than typing your 12 words into your laptop or desktop, where there could be key loggers or key tracers or malware or something like this. The best practice really is, especially for large amounts of Bitcoin, you never type your recovery seed, your 12 or 24 words, into anything except the hardware wallet itself. So how do you restore your recovery seed? I will link to this in the description notes below. Basically, you turn on your Blockstream Jade, you initialize it, you choose recover, you choose your recovery phrase length, whether it's 12 or 24 words, and then you enter your recovery, your 12 or 24 words, right into Jade's keyboard. And then you can connect it to Sparrow in the same way we connected the Trezor in step 1. You can do something similar with Cold Card. After you initialize your cold card and enter your PIN, the two halves of your PIN and your anti-phishing words, you see your anti-phishing words, you would go to import existing rather than having the wallet generate a fresh recovery seed for you. Then you would select 12 or 24 words, you enter your seed words into the cold card itself, and then you connect it to Sparrow in the same way we connected our Trezor to Sparrow, using either USB, which is much, much less preferable. Instead, you should try to use QR codes or a micro SD card that you basically pass back and forth between your cold card and a micro SD card reader that's plugged into your computer. This is the air gap method, and this is the best method of doing it. So those are basically 3 emergency situations and how you might deal with them. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy these kind of tutorials, you would definitely love my paid material over at bitcoinuniversity.com. Just this Saturday, I'm going to be doing a special live Zoom class in which we talk about the cold card queue, how to set it up, how to use it, including all of its advanced features. So we'll be doing something similar to what we did here, but doing a really deep dive. When you join Bitcoin University Premium, you not only get access to the live classes that happen once a month while you're a member, but also you get access to all the recordings of those past live classes, which includes how to set up your own node using Start9, CoinJoin, non-KYC anonymous Bitcoin, Bitcoin loans, etc. And you also get access to the paid course with all of its lectures about various topics, various advanced Bitcoin topics. So if this is something that interests you, I will put a link in the description notes below, as well as the pinned comment. And if you're thinking about joining already, you should join today or tomorrow so you can participate in the live class. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video, and let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below, especially if you enjoy this kind of video or you prefer more ideological and theoretical videos. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.